Yeah, listen, people have been saying that this EU League is pretty much written with how teams have been playing. It's going to be Peps, Koma, it's going to be BH3. I have been saying since week one, this is an incredibly close league. I don't predict any, like, you can't predict who's going to be making it through to the playoffs. You can't predict who's going to win it. As you've already mentioned there, Jonathan, there are so many upsets that have happened. Teams have beaten other teams that have beaten other teams that have beaten undefeated teams. It is one of those situations where you cannot predict what's going to happen with this league. This is going to be our first game. JAIME POULET taking on Avalanche. As you see there, JAIME POULET, they have managed to win 2 games within sets. So they are managing to at least get some records going. Looking at this right now, this is an incredible. We've got Meowth finally on the field for UCS.
Finally, indeed, we're going to be looking at that, locking it down. I love to see some Meowth action there, but we do have some Mega Gary through. That means it made it through the draft, Tano. This is a powerful Pokemon to let through, so the way Avalanche must be feeling pretty strong, especially with a Ledge in the pocket.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong comp for them. Let's see how they get on with that Gyarados on the side of JAIME POULET right now as they try and push into this lane with it. Just a reminder, chat, the current banned Pokemon that can't be played today no matter what is Umbreon, Sirfetch'd, and thank God, Zapdos. So we won't be seeing those on the field. So I'm intrigued to see what the bans ended up being, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely. There were already. We got the A pressers and the supports there. Hoopa versus Eldegoss going on to the top side here. Huge potential here for a lot of great damage. Machop goes in, grabs it with the karate chop, just says, hi-ya! That's my bundle beat.
Trying to get away is going to be Joxo on the Mew, but unable to escape the claws of Traffy here as they get a double KO. Meowth, that's right, as they go back, getting ready for these 850s about to spawn on in.
Double KO in the bottom lane there. That's really good for JAIME POULET because that can allow them to be put into a powerful position. They brought the Hoopa down, so they're going to 4-man this lane there, but we do have the Meowth in the bottom, so this might be the way to go. They're putting on a little Prancer, they're putting the Dancing and the Prancing, but Ledge is already peeling away. They're going straight into that central path there, maybe looking for the double gank.
Oni here trying to see if they can get up into this top lane and provide some assistance onto the side of their Machamp here. They do have that submission build. Machamp doing so well currently in this meta. Oni with the Bitter Blade will be able to put on a lot of pressure onto the side of JAIME POULET. They are waiting here for the rotation in the central area, but we've got to remember in this week, buddy, it's Rayquaza that is map 1.
That's the old rip and flip combo objective there, but Ledge is already down. Meowth made a pay. They're like, listen, you might be after my AOS energy, but you gotta go 3-me to get it. Hoopa's on 1 HP in a dream, throws the trick out, gets away, but the Swablues want to make their presence known. That's Piloswine, picks up the KO.
Bro, that must have been in the jet but a dive through just to pick up the KO, and they find it all right. 43 points to the donut store open for Avalanche right now. They are struggling in these early stages. They have got the Cerulean online, but now Qatar is on the Gyarados, and that is a threat, especially with how well Traffy has been playing Meowth as well.
Yeah, Meowth is already going off with its great showing here. It's a great point-and-click type of speedster there. Lots of stuns in the pocket there. Very mobile as well. Meowth is a very powerful Pokemon to watch out for. As the Ledge is finding out. Eldegoss goes in with the Cotton Spore coming through, knocking it down. There's the Ledge gone. 4-man army into the top for JAIME POULET as we have our lane objective spawning in now, Tano.
This is getting pretty tough for Avalanche at the moment. Objectives have come in now. They realistically have to group up and look for experience. I'm liking the rotation into the top lane for the entirety of the team here. The rip on the Regieleki coming in from Qatar, looking to see if they can secure it. Is Machamp. Submission works, but it's just too late as Meowth will find the KO once more. Throwing out the Unite moves now, trying to see what they can with the Golden Coin Barrage. Does manage to drop a decent amount of damage here, but Oni's looking for their own revenge. Diving onto the Eldegoss, gets stunned though, as Traffy finds a double KO. Looking for the triple here. Wartortle gets cut down, and Traffy slices more down for a triple KO.
Huge advantage now for JAIME POULET as they're able to pull ahead. Lots of KOs. More time off the map for the side of Avalanche. Now they got to quickly play that game of Pac-Man. Collect the dots. Mew's trying to hit the little bit of Regice. They couldn't get vision on it there. Throw a random Solar Beam out for a Hail Mary. Not able to connect there. We have Regice now playing for JAIME POULET.
difficult at the moment. 146 points to 0 on the board. That is not what you want to see. You are looking for stacks on a lot of your Pokemon. You have none of them at the mid game here. You've got to work out a plan. Realistically, group up, push a lane. You have to get points here. You have to do something. Revenant Rend is going to connect, but nobody's there to back up Oni. So they end up going down the Flux Zone and just get completely KO'd. Trying to score points in. They managed to get 6, but guess what? Traffy's there once again. Meowth cuts down Hooper. Avalanche. They have to regroup. They have to push as a team.
Yeah, JAIME POULET is doing great work, working as that 5-man, 3-man, 4-man army. They're always together, able to isolate Avalanche, pick them off, force them into plays that they're not necessarily comfortable with. Saraledge dove, trying to get onto the Mewtwo Y, and it wasn't able to connect. Blastoise there trying to do a little bit of poke and prod. Side strike there. Mamoswine's looking for vision. Overall, JAIME POULET looking very solid as our top lane Regilurat looking to spawn it.
Trying to hold up the world here is Blastoise. It's a goal-getter Traffy at the moment as they manage to use the passive to grab that. Not able to get the 40 dunk in though. Nax is going to pull out the Rings Unbound here. Try and see if they can get the whole team to push this pad. But look what's going on in that top lane. JAIME POULET getting some good control of the entirety of this map. Again, the Golden Coin Barrage will come through from Meowth. That's going to be enough to find Oni. Blastoise has to surf away here. JAIME POULET are currently now on the offensive. They do manage to find the KO on the Mamoswine on the side of Avalanche, and both teams look like they're going to go their own ways.
Meowth is doing a great job there, pickpocketing with that pickpocket there, with that ability, pulling out all kinds of different items. Eject button, score shields. I'm just waiting for the moment that we get the goal hacker, or better yet, the fluffy tail onto that Meowth there, because that is a roulette that you're not even willing to spin there. But there goes the Revenant Rend. We do have the Saraledge going in. The Phantom Force into the bitter blade as they're diving on the pad. But JAIME POULET is clapping back. They're taking names, they're taking numbers. Machamp is the first to fall. Those digits in their pocketbook, and JAIME POULET is cleaning up.
They just don't have enough damage here, buddy. The second that Mega Gyarados is online, they are really struggling to win that team fight. Meowth wasn't even there for JAIME POULET, and they were unable to break through the Mega Gyarados. They need more damage in this right now, and it's all going to come down to that final fight. They're going to have to farm up what AS energy they can. Pac-Man mode is officially activated here for Avalanche, and you can see already JAIME POULET, they're not happy with that. They're trying to take what they can from the top lane.
Yeah, they have to. This is the moment where you got to keep the pressure on. This is the moment where levels could become very important. Unite moves that recharge right there at the 3-minute mark, going to be crucial. Some people might not have them there. Mamoswine going for a cheeky little ice bang onto the Machamp, and he goes, oh no, I'm caught out. Never mind, I'm a champ. I got submission.
Oh, grabbing that Regieleki here, more benefit onto the side of JAIME POULET. Does mean that it could realistically be defended by Avalanche, but again, it's more control on Fire Sky Ruins for JAIME POULET at the moment. Right now, looking to be caught out in that central area is going to be Blastoise as they go down. They will be back ready for this Rayquaza to come on in. But right now, the ball is in the court of Avalanche, Jonathan. They have struggled throughout the entirety of this game. They need a massive fight here at the Ray, and they've got to take out Traffy. 14 on that Meowth.
Yeah, Rayquaza, not an easy objective. Huge attack boost, huge shields, not just enhanced score speed, but unstoppable scoring as well. One of the most broken Pokemon there in the game, but Blastoise already taken down as the Great Green Dragon hits the field.
Bro, I mean, when they say there's a Ray, there's a way, but I don't know. Without your Blastoise in the fight, I don't think they will be. They have to wait, realistically, to have that Hydro Typhoon here as an engagement tool. Machamp looks like they're going to go for a back cap on the T1. You can't engage if that is currently happening with your team. Unfortunately, caught out is going to be Hooper at the moment, so they don't have Rings Unbound either. JAIME POULET just have complete control of this fight right now. You're going to have to regroup. Oni going to dive in here with the Revenant Rend. Doesn't manage to find a connection with it as they try and dive through onto Ratsu. That is the right play, but not with your team not being here. Hydra Typhoon by themselves manages to hit nearly everybody, but Mew is having to back up Jonathan. It is a broken up Avalanche in this fight. They haven't been able to get any advantage at any point as JAIME POULET look to rip the Rayquaza at the moment. They really look to take down the Machamp. We do have the Rings Unbound pulled out now by Hooper. There is a moment, a chance here for Avalanche to do something. Huge submission transition will come through. Machamp is still on their feet. They KO the Mama Swan. Meowth is down, but Avalanche can't do what needs to be done as the secure comes through from Gyarados, and Hundo Burgers look to rein in.
Oh, that was so close there for Avalanche. They started off incredibly rough there. They were able to clap back, come back, 2 quick KOs there. But JAIME POULET, this huge Mewtwo Y was just outputting the pressure, outputting the A-press damage. It was just too oppressive for Avalanche to deal with. I mean, as we look, Blastoise is fleeing for its life there. Gyarados trying to connect onto the pad here, but Avalanche actually doing a solid defense there. But unlike Groudon, unlike Kyogre, when you break these shields, when you KO these Mons, that buff does not transfer over.
No, and I do think Avalanche maybe needed a little bit more damage. Thing is, I like the Mew, but I think in a situation where you're going to need bigger damage, maybe a Miraidon would have been more beneficial. Of course, we don't know what the bans are. We're about to have a nosy at them now, buddy. So, it is Mega Luca, Charizard Y, Vaporeon banned out there for Avalanche, Blissey, Psyduck, and Crustle for JAIME POULET. So, Miraidon was playable. Maybe they felt comfortable at least being on the side of that Mew. I just think too much damage coming in from Avalanche. You've got the Mewtwo Y, you've got the Meowth, and you've got a Mega Gyarados. It takes a lot to take all that out.
Yeah, it is. Listen, I don't know when in the draft Meowth was taken. Might have been early because it was left up and it's a good pick there. So maybe Joxo was thinking, you know what, we can't go Miraidon because we need a little bit more mobility. They got a little scared there because look at that Meowth, 61k damage, very dangerous Pokemon, and we saw exactly it. Now we take a look at the objectives secured there. It was JAIME POULET in control of this match the whole time. Regieleki, Regice, Regieleki, Rayquaza. One Regice going to the side of Avalanche there, but the entire match, no scores in. 1 6-point cap early on with a 50 cap right at the end there by the Machamp.
Let's have a look at the replay here, see how things shaked up. I think it's going to be a good game that Avalanche can have a look back on the VOD for, because JAIME POULET Avalanche, they're currently at the same level in the league right now, and this is a good team to compare yourself against. So I think have a look at the VOD, see how you're engaging in these fights, because this makes you realize the comp isn't quite right. You don't have Meowth in that fight, and you still cannot find the KOs that you're looking for.
Yeah, that Mewtwo Y was just so oppressive as well. The quick pick on the Blastoise, then onto the Hoopa, absolutely demonic there. The Mega Gyarados comes out, just clinches it there. And look at this, JAIME POULET, they're taking KOs, they're taking names there, but they're also losing members. But the Mewtwo Y never lost focus.
No, and I think a lot of that in the final fight comes down to communication for Avalanche there. I think you've got to look to reset as a team. You currently don't have your Blastoise in the fight. You've got a Machamp looking to go for a back cap. If one of your team is making the decision to go for a back cap, Jonathan, you can't engage. You cannot take that fight. You are a 5v4 against some really strong Pokemon. You can't take that fight. You've got to back up, try and pull their attention at least, but at least back up and not take it so that your Machamp can have that opportunity. And then if your Blastoise isn't there, you definitely can't take that fight.
Yeah, that was really good on the side of JAIME POULET. They found the Blastoise. Blastoise overextended. They're being a little cheeky. They said, all right, you get to go back to Nurse Joy. You want to be a little cheeky? We'll send you back. You can be all the cheeky you want there with her. Then they find the Hoopa instantly. That's the 2 most important Pokemon for the side of Avalanche. Picked off early. Their vision is cut. Their engage, gone. Now what do you do as Avalanche when your 2 most important players are taken off the map before you even begin?
Exactly. And, you're coming up against a team that has done so well in the game so far. 156 points, I think it was, before you managed to score any. So you know that they've got the levels. They're quite strong. I mean, Avalanche is a good team. I have seen them get so close to winning some of these sets, buddy. They get so close and do so well in a game, but it's that final 2-minute fight that they struggle with multiple times. That's one area that they need to improve. So I'm excited to see what happens coming into this next map. Hopefully a bit more of a comp that will work against JAIME POULET, but you've got to consider the fact that Meowth is now playable and that Mega Gyarados is still absolutely cooking.
It absolutely is. I mean, we look at the bans, Mega Charizard Y, Mega Lucario, Vaporeon. You didn't really have much of a choice. These are powerful Pokemon there. But POULET had a little bit more of a free reign on that draft there. They're able to take out Psyduck, able to take out Blissey. The way that Oni is playing, going in deep, Psyduck, Blissey being off the table just really cuts down on the options to be able to pocket Oni, be able to go in deep with them, help them extract and get out, because the way Oni went deep so many times without follow up from the teams, like, you got to make sure you have that follow up. And Hoopa might have been able to do that, but they just weren't able to pull it off in this game particularly.
Well, right now, JAIME, they are one game up. They are looking to win their first set here in the league in week 3. There's only 2 more weeks of regular season to try and get into that 6th position if you want to make it to playoffs. So they're technically not eliminated at all. They have the opportunity to do so with another 2 weeks of action after this if they can find this win. Exactly the same for Avalanche, because both of these teams haven't got a win in this league just yet, but Avalanche are going to have to do it big here. They're going to have to win this next game and then win another one if they realistically want to take this.
Yeah, I mean, like, coming into this too, like, realistically, you're just trying to avoid relegation at this point as well. Like, you got 3 weeks left, you got this week, you got 2 more weeks. The wins, you're not going to be at the top of the league by the end of it. There's just not enough time, I don't think, unless everybody just all of a sudden just like drops everything and you get through. So realistically, but there are still the playoffs too, Tano, which is a way for the teams to get in. Again, you just want to avoid relegation, make it into the playoff spot, and that's what you want to aim for. And both teams have a good shot at being able to do just that.
Yeah, no, they really do. That's why I like the fact that it is the top 6 teams, the top 2, bottom 2 positions risk relegation, because it means that teams that do struggle in these leagues, and they're bound to be, in any esports league, there will be teams that struggle at the bottom. They only have to find enough wins to make it to that 6th position, and then it's playoffs. Playoffs are completely different. Typically, you end up in a double elimination bracket. So elimination compared to leagues, it's a completely different setting. It just takes one team to have a brilliant run and then realistically, win the whole thing. We've seen it multiple times in many EU leagues here in this region. There's one currently going on right now, and we've recently seen, me and you have casted it, the teams at the bottom of that league, they have just gone on an insane run in the mid-seasons recently, winning the entire thing, which is just incredible.
Yeah, it was absolutely demonic to see that. And I mean, we even saw it at EUIC. We had Peps, Bolticons. We have them popping out, taking down Titans there. Honestly, across the board, across the regions, they were doing it. But EU in particular, these were teams people were like, all right, we have our hedges bet against them. And they showed up and they're like, whoa, was I wrong? And how happy I am, locked in, eyes glued to the screen, being like, go, do it, yes!
It has been really exciting here in this region, chat. I hope you're all enjoying it as much as we are as casters for this year. Here we go, buddy. It is game 2. Having a look at this right now, Oni picks up the Blaziken that is currently struggling with a bug that might happen. I don't think it happens every time, but what happens is until you hit level 9, you can be stuck on Torchic's abilities and you can't get your plus moves either, which is such a tough bug.
You know what? And that leads into another point too, Tano. Recently, Unite made a change to how the moves are selected in this game there. You have to pre-select your moves before going into the match there. That is something that players have to take into account, because you no longer have the freedom to swap on the fly. You have to pre-select those moves before going in.
Yeah, that is so interesting. I mean, they do have the benefit of being in draft, so I guess you can kind of be like, okay, I can do that or that, but it's so weird because sometimes you do want that ability to do it on the fly. I tried to forget about that, to be honest, Jonathan. It's such a contested topic at the moment, but nevertheless, looking at this right now, you have got the Frogadier coming into the bottom lane. We've got the Combusken making it to the top lane.
Yeah, there we go. Frogadier into the bottom, realizes nobody's down there. They're going to go top there. They're going to say, hey, what's going on? Eldegott's got some floors still down floating around the middle. We got Frogadier taking the Natus there. 8 seconds away till the 850 birds there. Avalanche actually looking like pretty strong here on their positioning, but JAIME POULET has just shown up.
Oh, getting a good kick onto that farm as well, giving the decent amount of experience over. Still looking for Vaporeon on the side of Mbok right now. This is good for Avalanche. They've got Power Spike. Still looking for them is Jamle Palais. Bo here looking to see if they can hit Pillar Swine soon. And they still have only just got Vaporeon online here. This is pretty good for Avalanche.
Yeah, absolutely demonic here as well. We're already seeing Swineup going in and being a little cheeky on Quento there. That Crustle being like, bro, come on, I'm a Crustle. I'm already evolved. What are you going to do to me? What are you going to do? You can't touch me. But 13 seconds away till Red Drago hits the field. Zimpale is looking a little bit lackluster on the point, though.
Ooh, gonna see Gabite manage to get out of there. Karake looking the face of Gyarados there, but they do manage to get out. We do have, of course, the Regidrago now coming in. That's going to be taken by Avalanche right now, trying to see if they can get it. Is Jamle Palais, though, as we do have, Bo manages to get the Ice Fang onto Oni. They're taken down right now as Traffy is looking to clean up. They're so comfortable here on this Greninja, one of their best Pokemon, but it's going to be none other that Espeon that manages to find the KO. That is the power of Storm power, but Mbok ain't gonna let that one fly as they find the revenge.
Can we just talk about that Piloswine there for a moment? Blaziken gets the secure on Drago. He's like, yes! Piloswine grabs him, goes, yes! Takes him down, then finds the KO again. Just goes in and just be like, nah, you ain't getting away. You ain't pop, you're gone there. Just like Blaziken almost was by Traffy. Greninja putting out the damage.
Yeah, people have to remember with Greninja, the lower your HP is, the more damage you are going to drop with that passive, mate. And it is going to always be a dangerous threat. Oni here looking to see if they can get set up for the Regieleki to be taken. But Avalanche, Boo, though, trying to see if they can get it. Ice Fang is used. Not able to do so, though, because it is a side beam paired with the stored power for Espeon that will find that secure. Pressure now onto the side of the T1 pad of Jamle Palais. Avalanche wisely deciding not to push it here, knowing that last game they struggled in their team fighting. The Regirock has also been taken. They're going to go for experience instead, Jonathan.
Yeah, they're doing a great job there. Vaporeon gets the score in 30. That's okay. If you're going to let 30 go in, let the Vaporeon get it. You want to stop the Gyarados with the 30 cap in the pocket there. That means they're not able to stack as easily. Less stacks, less damage. Less damage means you have a better opportunity to take down that little baby Gary.
Right now, though, finding the experience is Jamle Palais. They were a little bit behind, but now that Qatar is on the field, they've definitely grown these levels back. A surf comes in from Traffy. It's going to be enough to find the Gabite. Still no Garchomp on the field here. The Ice Fang lands, and goodbye, Espeon. As Jamle Palais are going to find a good secure on this pad. X's that comes out from Quento, trying to hold the attention of them here while Avalanche tries to rush back. Not able to do so. 31 overcap for Jamle Palais.
111 to 29. Jamle Palais finally finding momentum, being able to take a significant lead against Avalanche there. But we take a look at the levels. Greninja's level 11, but Blaziken just behind at level 10. But the rest of Avalanche is lacking. They gotta play Pac-Man, collect the Chaos Energy because it's a lot of brawling. Blaziken's able to be taken quickly down by the side of Jamle Palais.
Oh, this is tough for Avalanche, getting slightly on the back foot here. They just need to continue to regroup, find this KO onto the farm itself. We do now have Garchomp on the field. They're managing to slightly keep up with levels, but it's Traffy that's becoming the danger here. They've hit level 12. That is massive for a Greninja against the opposition right now. It's not easy to find those KOs. We do have this Regibuff coming on in. Waiting to take it is Jamle Palais, but they're waiting to see what Avalanche does. Going for the rip here is going to be the Garchomp. Trying to zone them out is Quento, but look at that. What a burst shuriken into the backline instantly. Regieleki will be taken, though, with a brilliant Psychic Solaire coming out from this Espeon, buying the space for Avalanche as the Regieleki looks to push the T1 pad.
There we go. Yep, there we go. The Mewtwo Y goes in. Puts the damage down on Oni. They're able to get away. Good shields there. Garchomp going in. Clean it up with the Livid Outrage. Goes for the Dragon Combo. Misses. But Regieleki is still hitting the home pad. That clock is counting down. No shields, no heals. Garchomp says, get it out of here. We ain't risking. But the Dragon Current comes in. Gyarados is here. Takes down the Blaziken. The Crustle falls soon, accepting their fate there. Garchomp left alone on the pad. Greninja says, hello, goodbye.
I'm not sure what was going on with Quento there, because a Crustle can still hold that fight. There was a Citrus Berry right in front of them as well. Keep an eye on it as they are coming back into the lane now. So, JAIME Le Poulet are definitely managing to keep in this fight, buddy. They managed to get some points from that. They're trying to keep up with these levels. Now only one extra on the side of JAIME Le Poulet. It's pretty good this at the moment. We got 3:30 on the clock. We do have a top Reggie, and it looks like it's going to be JAIME Le Poulet that go for it.
Yeah, Avalanche is closing in, though. Greninja coming in as the bottom flank there as well. Garchomp coming in with the Dragon combo there. Boom. We're going to be able to find the pick on the Gyarados. Gyarados waterfalls away, able to get out. Looking for the another engage. There's the Mamoswine's collapsed on. There's the Psychic Solaire coming in. The Livid Outrage. That's a late Unite move. Mamoswine, Gyarados already gone. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Avalanche got swept up in the landslide. That is JAIME Le Poulet.
Yeah, that was clean. I mean, hey, their name means I like chicken, and boy, do they, as they find the KO once more onto Avalanche. Traffy with the execute of Surf sends them straight back to the Pokemon Center. We're now 40 seconds away from saying hello to Kyogre for the first time today, and still it is such a close game in regards to points. Traffy, though, they're not happy with that. They've hit level 14. That is going to be a dangerous threat with that Gyarados in this final fight.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to pop that Water Per Shuriken down on something about 20 seconds to go. Regieleki on the field there. Not even 20 points separates these teams. Gyarados secures the Regieleki. Now they're looking for the fight. This is going to be it, Tano. This is how the Kyogre gets decided.
It is 5 seconds left here. When there is a Kyogre, the game is not over. And Avalanche are taking that to heart as they look to go for the rip here. Infinite Cybern's going to be used, but we've lost half of our HP onto the side of the Blaziken, who goes down instantly. Rubble Rouser finally used by Quento. Garchomp has had to actually leave the pit. They've had to use the eject button to get away from the Mewtwo. Why? Throws in the side strike here. They've cleaned up the Crustle. JAIME Le Poulet have managed to clean up the approach from Avalanche. The Garchomp is currently in their own central area, buddy, because they can't take this fight.
150 to 109. JAIME Le Poulet is still in the lead, but barely. A nice cheeky score from the side of Avalanche could change the fates there, but that does mean giving them control and vision. Greninja goes for the 50 down in the bottom there, not able to do it, just being like, hey, listen, I'm just looking for vision. There you are. Now I know. Now I'm going to be able to pop you.
Okay, Blaziken looks like they're going to show face on that T1 and look for a back cap. Garchomp looking to do the same as well. That's tough. You can't take this team fight whilst that back cap is happening, and that's why right now JAIME Le Poulet are looking to see if they can take the fight. They've now got vision on where things are. 1 point ahead is Avalanche. They find the KO onto Eldegoss, though. Does JAIME Le Poulet? 100 burger going in from Garchomp right now, but ripping the Kyogre is going to be Katar. Mbok with the zoning here. Bo doing the same. Espeon, though, looking to see if they can get in for the secure on this Kyogre. We've also got Karaki doing the same as they look to dive on through. They've managed to find the Blaziken, though, as JAIME Le Poulet. The rip continues. 30 seconds left. Who's going to secure it here, though, Jonathan? They can't get it. It's JAIME Le Poulet locking in the Kyogre. Crustle was frozen out of that one thanks to Mamoswine. And it looks like JAIME Le Poulet, if they can score points in these last 20 seconds, that's the Hundo Burger. They will win their first set of the UCS 2026 series.
It was bound to happen eventually, and JAIME Le Poulet said, no, today is the day. They come in, they decide, you know what, Avalanche, I'm sorry, not a single win in the league, but that's going to have to stay because we're going to take this set 2-0 in a resounding victory. But Avalanche, so close. They did the right things, but just weren't able to clutch it up. They were taken down, and really, like, they had the tools for the rip and flip as well. It was just unfortunate timing. JAIME Le Poulet just came in with the infinite Cyber for the stun. Kyogre comes in, a little bit of help with some knock up there. The Mamoswine comes in too, and boy, howdy did that throw Avalanche off.
I gotta say, I feel like, you know, I want to know from Oni's perspective how the Blaziken was, because it struggled, and I'm not sure if he ended up hitting that bug, because it didn't feel as effective as Blaziken usually is. I mean, they were up against a difficult fight. Traffy with 98 damage dropped there. The thing is, Traffy is so incredibly comfortable on Greninja, on Cinderace, and they're not the two Pokemon that you expect to be coming up against in this meta.
No, not at all there, but a different game on the board here. I mean, we did see Avalanche maintaining control of the score there for a while, right up until that 6 minute mark. They had Regirock. Pardon me, they had two Regirocks and a Regieleki. They were securing these objectives away from Jim LePoulet. They had every tool in the pocket. They just weren't able to clock it out.
No, and again, as we see from this graph, before we have a look at the replays, in fact, bring us to the replays production, it was a close game, and this is what I was talking about. Avalanche, they do manage to get these really close games. They just have to wait for, to get better at those final fights, realistically. They get a little bit too broken up. Let's get the replay on the screen, please, production. They get a little bit broken up, and that just causes them not to be able to do that team synergy that they're looking to do right now, but boy, Jonathan, how good was this Mama Swine?
And fantastic. Diving in, getting those picks. Game number one, it looked great. Jim LePoulet said, there's no reason not to roll it back. We don't have a Blastoise. That doesn't matter. We didn't need a Blastoise. Boom. And Quinto right here, underestimating their own bulk. They could have added a little bit more power, a little bit more something, but they just said, I'm going to accept my fate.
I just don't understand this rip plan either. Like, they were right there where Jean-Luc play, and I don't feel like that rip plan was the right decision. Avalanche, some great VODs for you to go and have a nosy at and, look to improve. But they have a Gyarados there, man. They've got a Greninja with Water Burst Shuriken. The rip, whilst it's good on the side of a Garchomp, it isn't going to do enough before they manage to get in that pit.
No, it's not. They were like, all right, listen, I think the plan was to have the three members of Avalanche hold off the army that was Jim LePoulet, so the two main rippers could go in and rip the Kyogre. But that's a beefy objective. That's not a quick rip, even when you got the Garchomp and the Blaziken. Also, Garchomp wasn't at full stacks. That's going to be about 4 to 5 hits to get those stacks max before it starts A pressing power and be like, all right, let's go turbo.
I mean, fair play to Jean-Luc Poulet. They managed to find themselves their first set win here in the UCS leagues. We're going to head to a quick break now, chat, before we bring you the game of the day, in my opinion. Next, it's going to be Komai, and it's going to be Los Caracados. We'll be there with you shortly. Grab a drink, grab a snack. We'll be back soon.